Welcome into the Sullivan Speakeasy. I'm glad you have stopped by. Today we're doing an in-depth review of Barrelpalooza that took place last Saturday. I know there were a lot of questions about it, how it went down, what were my opinions on some things that went down, and we will get into that here in a sec. But if you are new here or are enjoying the content, I would appreciate you subscribing to the channel. Also, liking and commenting on this video would assist me as well. If you were at Barrelpalooza or have any takes on what went on, please comment down below. Would love to hear from you. So Barrelpalooza, for those who don't know, is the usually 3 times a year big event here in Charlotte where we get our allocated bottles. So you line up, first come, first serve, usually, and you will snake through the store where they have a bunch of different barrel picks and whatnot on the floor first. And then you have, when you get to the counter, you have a left and right side. So behind the counter, you have left side, right side, and the left side is traditionally your unicorns like Old Forester Birthday, President's Choice, BTAC, Pappy, Michter's 20, Russell's 1315, high-end Weller, high-end E.H. Taylor, stuff like that. You get one on that side, and on the right side is your more mid-tier allocation, Jack 1012, Stag, Blanton's, Elmer T, 1924, stuff like that. You get one from each, and then you are done. So, getting into where I came in, so usually I get to these morning of because that usually will put me in the top 100, 3 to 5 a.m., but there were so many people already in line by Friday after work that I had to go earlier. I was already planning on camping out, but not getting there till after dinner, maybe 10 p.m., but I had to go right after work, and that put me 94th in line, and since the store was open, we could not officially line up yet, so there was a list. We hung out across the road, had a great time, had dinner. Someone tried to rob the store. Thankfully, no one got hurt. They got caught and arrested and all that stuff. But a crazy night. And then once the store closed, we lined up around the store, got in our spot, met our line buddies and whatnot. And this is where a little bit of contentiousness happened. The guys around me were under the impression that you could not go sleep in your car. I did tell them right away, like, hey, you can. I know there was some confusion. I promise you, I've been to a bunch of these. You can go sleep in your car. Just stay, around the store. So the store's parking lot was not really big. So there was street parking, people parking at a grocery store. And I was like, hey, as long as you don't leave the area, you're good to go sleep in your car. I promise. I went to go sleep in my car for 4 or 5 hours. I'm thankful I did. And then I got back to my spot and they were still there and they were still mad. And I was like, God, and I was in my head, I'm like, well, everyone else went. I think it's okay if you went, right? So that was interesting. I know, people have different opinions on whether you can sleep in your car or not. I personally think it's fine as long as you don't leave the area, the parking lot or whatever. But my take, would love to hear your thoughts on that. And then normally on these, the store opens at 9. And they hand out this sheet and this ticket at 8. So the ticket, all it really does is keep your spot in line. So they start at like 0, and then, for this, I ended up actually being spot 83 because people missed it or whatever. And so normally that's how it goes, right? And then you go in at 9. But I guess also normally how it goes, so the main ABC guy will come around with his megaphone, just give some general instructions for new people at this event. But this time he got on the roof and asked everybody to come to the front of the store, which was kind of red flag number 1. And a little more context, the main guy, he's a good dude, but he's a little bit of a jokester. So he starts going in like, thanks for coming out, all this stuff. And then he's like, we're going to do a lottery for the top 50 spots. And I thought this was bait. I thought he was joking. Surely we're not doing that, right? But further context, this has happened before a few paloozas ago where he re-racked the top 50. That time he just took the top 50 and re-racked them. This time there were about 500 people there already that had their little ticket. He took these tickets, picked 50 of them, and those were the new top 50. So you could have just gotten there, or you could have been there for a few days and top 50. And a lot of people who just got there got moved up to the top 50. And supposedly the top 30 people who had been there since Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday did not get picked. So they got moved back in the line. So basically the top 50 are called, and then you keep your spot in line, but you move back or forward depending on what happened. 40 people jumped me, so I got moved back to 123 3 in lime, and I'll get to why that was a little bit of a bummer. But overall, with the top 50 lottery, I thought it was fine. I like it for future ones. I think the only thing I would say is a little more heads up on that, because then I would not have gone as early as I did. It will cut down on camping, and so on and so forth. So yeah, so that happened. Kind of crazy. So obviously the top 30 didn't like it, but they're still great bottles. But yeah, so we re-racked them, went in to the store. I'm going to move this out of the way. Move my notes out of the way here. Like I was saying, there are picks on the floor. So the first one was this Sazerac Rye. It's an NC 90th pick. I know nothing crazy, but still cool to have one of these with the North Carolina sticker on it. And then also there was a Buffalo Trace NC 90 pick. These were 1 per, which I'm thankful there was. They probably would not have gotten them otherwise. So let's move those kind of right there. And then my right side pick was Stag, just regular old Stag. This is batch 24D. I had heard they had some 25s, but I wasn't going to ask for specifics. This is now a backup 24D, but I'm going to try and move this for another batch, or try and trade it, I should say, for another batch or a different bottle that I'm looking for. And then kind of the coup de grace on my left side pick was President's Choice Rye. And for those who are wondering, this is barrel 33, 56.65 alcohol percentage, and then 117 months age, which I think is around 7-8 years. But very, very happy with this haul. I will say the unfortunate part about the lottery for me, like I referred to earlier, was that I got pushed out of Coy Hill range, which is been a unicorn for me. I've been chasing, and so has been the President's Choice. But obviously, there's a big price difference. This is like $225. Coy Hill, I think, is like 80 something. They're both excellent, and I'm glad to have this. It would have been nice to have a Coy Hill. I'm a big Jack Daniels guy, but I'm still very, very happy with these 4 bottles that I was able to get. And if anyone from Mac ABC is watching, thank y'all so much. I always love these events. I know, I guess I'm the eternal optimist, but it was run well. I like the lottery. I think you should keep doing the lottery. Like I said before, maybe announce it a little bit earlier, like when you announce Barrelpalooza, just so we know going into what that is. But yeah, so it was a really fun time. People are always going to complain, whether it's a straight first come first serve, whether it's a straight lottery, whether it's a mix. People are always going to complain. I try not to, because I mean, if what is complaining about it going to do? We still had a great time. We still got some great bottles that we're going to crack here. But yeah, so like I said in the beginning, if you were there, let me know down below in the comments. Let me know what you got, what you thought about the first top 50 lottery, and so on and so forth. But yeah, Barrelpalooza, another success. Cheers, y'all.